Welcome to Saved by Grace, where we here with testimonies to share the lives of others, give good encouragement, and we have topics, and we're having a testimony today, and this is amazing.
And
I just
also,
love it.
Saved by Grace is a program to reach out to people who have not encountered God yet, who have not encountered Christ yet, and don't know what it's about.
Amen.
And that is what Saved by Grace is all about, to reaching out to the lost, reaching out to the people that are still in the dark, and hopefully we could be of aid to those people. Yes.
Yes.
And I am JC, and this is the beautiful
Delores.
host. Yes.
And I'm Jessica.
And Jessica is our beautiful guest today.
Hello.
She is going to be sharing her testimony, and we're just so excited to be able to hear her amazing testimony, which this is how we're going to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Jessica, what was your life like before you met Christ?
Okay, so life before Christ, or
Yes.
BC.
Yes.
I like how that
Yes.
how that works. You know, for me, it was always about. I was a single mom. Okay, I was a single mom, so my thing was work, because I had a, I didn't have the support from my ex-husband at the time. Well, still don't get the support from my ex-husband at the time.
Yes.
So I made work a priority.
Yes.
I made having to chase that dollar. The reason for that was because it was just me and my kid, my son. Me and my ex-husband at the time, we divorced when he was in kindergarten, so he was 5. And I already knew how my ex-husband was and everything. So it was all about, work, but then at the same token, and I see it now, my older son now, he's 25 now. And I've seen the effects of what had happened. I was there. I hardly was there. I would get mad when I would be sick, because I knew if I didn't go in, how am I going to pay the electricity? How am I going to pay, how am I going to put this roof over my kid's head and everything? So it was, for lack of a better term, I think it was survival, but at the same token, I also saw it as materialistic because of the fact that, I needed to provide the best for my kid. And a lot of that was because, his dad's not there. Okay, so who's going to be his father figure? I'm going to be his father figure. So, I tried to, at the time, the latest Nintendo,
Yes.
that's like I think at the time when they came out, it was like $400, $500. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do overtime just so, I can get that for my kid. So much so that I actually had to work 2 jobs just so I can provide.
I remember that the children were very obsessed with
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We had them coming up, too.
Yeah.
Yes, Nintendo, the game box, or the game, I forget. I knew it was the GameCube.
Yes,
I remember
the
that.
GameCube.
I remember that. So that was, I think, my way of, before Christ. It was materialistic. And I also saw that, even to this, I'm still working on it. The more I threw into myself, I got to get that next degree. But it took time away from my kid. Okay, and there were a couple of times where I saw God trying to reach out to me. There were a couple of times. The first time was in 2008 when everybody got laid off out here in Las Vegas. So I don't know if you all remember that. That was when the economy tanked.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
I opened up Trump Towers, lost my job, And
Lost your job at the Trump
at the
Towers?
Trump Towers, yeah. So I used to work for the guy.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Work for the
The
man.
man,
I
that
used to
said,
work for.
Yes.
You're fired, huh?
Yes, I used to
Yes.
work for that guy, right? And because of that,
Mr. President.
yes,
Yeah.
the president of the United States. Because of that, I think I lost my job. I felt like I lost my identity, and it's like,
yes.
okay, who am I now? Because I felt like my job defined me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I
Oh,
was.
yes. I can
Yeah,
tell where you're coming from.
I was Jessica. I was
Yes.
the one that. Yes, I got you jobs.
Continue on with the.
Yes. I was Jessica, the person that got you the jobs. I was that go-to person to make sure you were ready for work. Because of what I did I was in HR, human resources, so that was my job. And, and I loved that job, but at the same token, I think it also defined me. And because of that, I spent a lot of time at work. And again, here I am. My kid. My kid was losing his mom, so to speak, because I got to go to work. No, I got to. Why are you sick? Okay, you need to go to. So again, that was who I was. I was the career. I put the career first. I put the career first over everything. My kid, my family, all of that. And for what? It's like, okay, prove my worth, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think part of that was to prove my worth. Part of that was to, prove people wrong,
Yes.
and all of that. And but then it also made me feel bitter because I'm like, okay, you don't think I can do this? Okay, watch me.
And Jessica, I have a question right there.
Mhm.
Now, when you felt bitter in that, now I know some people have a different feeling in that. How did you overcome it, the bitterness, or did it still stick with you?
I think this is the time that she hasn't encountered Jesus yet.
Yeah,
Right?
I haven't
Yeah.
encountered Jesus yet. Back in 2008, I think he, because all I did when I lost my job, I cried. I
Yes.
cried. I didn't know what to do, and I still thought, okay, I need to get my identity back. I got to go chase that dollar. I mean, how am I gonna provide for my kid? And I think that was the excuse. How am I going to provide for my kid? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? But now that I'm looking back, it's like, no, I need to find myself. I just lost myself on there. And that's what that was. So going back, I've encountered a couple religions. I was born and raised Catholic.
That's nice.
Yes,
That's nice.
Yes, I was born and raised Catholic, so I thought I'd go to the Catholic Church.
How very Filipino.
Yes,
Just like
very,
me.
very, very, very Filipino.
I have family that is Catholic too.
Yes.
And it's wonderful.
It's it's what I grew up to, and everything, but I still felt I was still missing something through the Catholic Church.
Yes.
There were a lot of questions, because I started questioning. I'm like, okay, why are we kneeling up and down like all the time? Why are we standing up and down and everything?
It's very ritualistic.
yeah.
Yes, it's very
Yeah.
ritualistic.
And not to put Roman Catholicism on blast.
Exactly.
Because we respect every Christian religion
Yes.
out there. Because the underlying factor is Jesus.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
Continue on with your story.
Yes, it is. So, so I felt like I was missing something from the Catholic faith because I couldn't get those answers that I was looking for. How come I was feeling like this? Why this? Why that? Why? And it also came down again. I lost my job. I was like, why did you take my job away from me? Now I'm not me anymore. Right?
Wow.
And
Yes.
and again, there you go, the bitterness. So much so I left this state. I left the country, went to the Philippines, and again, chasing the dollar. I was chasing the dollar. I was chasing the career, or I thought I was chasing the career, and again, my excuse in my head was I need to provide for my kid. But okay, how do you do that when you're in the Philippines and your kid's in the United States? And nobody, and there's nobody hiring out here in the United States because of what had happened with, where everybody was just laying off.
So that's the time that you flew back.
Yes.
No, you didn't fly back. You flew to the Philippines.
I went to the Philippines. I was there for about 9 months. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's see what happens. And my boss that was there was Mormon.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He was Mormon, so he tried to teach me a little bit, but I'm like, no, I'm Catholic.
Yes.
No, I'm Catholic. And then, well, what happened again? I was only there for 9 months. I had to come back to the U.S. because of visa requirements, whatever it is. It's like when you live there, you have to come back. Yeah. So I came back. I went back home to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Okay, and funny how things kind of work. The family I stayed with in Hawaii just happened to also be Mormon.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
And so,
that's beautiful.
Yes. So, again, so obviously, I had no choice, but because they like every Monday, every Sunday, every Wednesday, they're always looking through the Book of Mormon and everything. So in a sense, I kind of didn't have a choice. But then I started learning, a little bit about Mormonism and everything, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. Okay, so I actually got baptized Mormon back in 2010.
Oh, that's
wonderful.
Yeah,
it was 2010. Okay, but let me also add this. I still didn't feel fulfilled.
Okay.
Okay, I still didn't they answered a few questions, but I still wasn't fulfilled. And again, but I love the teachings of what the Mormon faith, taught me and everything. So I'm like, okay.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And again, that's all in the respect. I can even tell you, this is how much I was actually looking for God, looking to see, okay, what's there, why am I here? That's the question, right? Yeah. And so much so that I've actually even tried to study religion, all of religion, and that was the Muslim faith, that was Shintoism, that was Buddhism, that was all of that, just trying to find the answers and everything. Couldn't find it.
So you were soul searching.
Yes.
Because you weren't satisfied.
I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't satisfied.
So Jessica, how did that make you feel when you was soul searching, just like JC said? How did that make you feel?
I still felt, so I'm a nerd.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm a nerd too, and I wear the glasses.
Yeah. So I'm a nerd, and I'm always looking through textbooks, right? And I thought, okay, maybe it's in the book somewhere. And again, took a religion class in college to fulfill a college credit, right? I'm like, why not? Hey, I'm going to learn a little bit about, about religion. I don't know what. Let's see what comes out of it, right? Learned, watched some YouTube videos on other religions out there and everything. Talk to other people about, okay, so you're a Buddhist. Okay, what do you all do? And so it came down to this. It's now 2010. I lost my job in Hawaii. And again, this always happens to me. So anytime something really, really bad happens to me, that's when I go back to God. Hawaii, left, moved out to Texas, and I thought maybe, okay, because my husband now, so I'm married now. Married again. Okay, and I thought, okay, let's maybe this guy will define me. And again, nothing wrong with my husband. Our anniversary's coming up next week.
Was he the one that led you to the Lord?
Actually, no.
Oh,
okay, so we'll get to that part. Okay. We'll get to that part here in just a bit.
Okay.
But he knew that I was religious. Okay, he respected that. But he never came with me to the church or anything. And at the time, it was the Mormon church and all of that. And he never came to me. He got turned off by something through the Mormon faith. I forget what it was. But it's okay. To each his own.
Yes.
And I will say it was because of him that I stopped going to the Mormon church,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
Okay, but there were still other questions that were out there still that I couldn't find the answers through the Book of Mormon or anywhere else. I mean, and one of the things was the Book of Mormon, and I'm like, okay, let me look, and again, I'm still looking at it through a textbook, through a student's eyes, through being intellectual and all of that, because just a freaking nerd. I'm like, okay, I don't see anything, and I think that was what it was. So I was looking at it through that, right? So here we are. Let's go back to I was in Texas for about 5 years, and moved out here to Las Vegas. And the reason why I moved out here is because my mother passed away in 2015. Again, things need to shatter your life to to go back to God. And then for a little bit, I was crying. I'm like, why this, why that, okay? And it's still, it took my mom to die to kind of search a different way. I'm like, well, let's just look at the Bible. Let's just kind of see what's going on. But I also still had a husband that wasn't into the faith, okay, into soul searching, into is there somebody bigger than us out there that's why am I here? He wasn't still there, right? So that was 2015. She passed away. I moved out here May of 2015. Here I go again. I'm still trying to find who the heck I was, and went back to my old job, the Venetian, and that place actually defined who I was as a career person. And I thought, okay, maybe I do that, maybe I'll find myself that way. Nope. Didn't happen. Here's what happened. My husband, and God, like I said, God bless him, I still, believe it or not, it was him.
Your husband?
And let me tell you what happened. He got into a lot of crap here that I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and here's the reason why I didn't know. Again, I thought my career defined me, so much so that I wasn't home. Okay, I was working 12-hour days. I was, I still remember having to be at work, coming in at 9 a.m., leaving 7:30, 8:30 at night. Okay, I don't know what the heck's going on in my house, because my house was my job. And it took me, it took him being caught.
Wow.
He ended up, he got into drugs. He got, he went into, he met some stupid people. Excuse my, it took that,
Okay.
so much so that he landed in jail.
Oh, I'm so
He
sorry
landed
to
in
hear.
jail. So that was December of 2017.
Oh, not too
Right?
long ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
December 24th of 2017.
Oh,
that was
a
my
couple years ago.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my mother's birthday. She was born on December 24th.
Oh, wow.
Day
And
before Christmas.
yes, so she was
Wow.
Christmas. She was a Christmas
She was
Eve
a
baby.
Christmas Eve baby.
Yes, and it took some revelations, me finding out some stuff, and I'm like, get out of my house. And he got out of my house. When he got out of my house, he hung out with with a bad person, got him in jail. And it was from that point on, I'm like, okay, here I go again. What lesson do I need to learn here? Why did I end up with another idiot?
Jessica, How did that? Because I know about those feelings and that. I know that's some deep. You know, when you have a husband that went through the drugs and stuff, and then they can get addicted to that. And that, how did you feel like that, knowing that happened to him?
Well, first, okay, I felt stupid first and foremost. Okay, a lot of that is because it was all happening underneath my nose. Because I mean, this was all happening while I was at work. So I come home, everything seemed normal, right? I felt betrayed. Like finding out, I felt betrayed. Okay, knowing who I was, knowing that I'm a big advocate of don't do drugs. I mean, that was just something I seeing how it would affect people, and I should have seen the signs. I mean, I didn't know. Again, I've never hung out with people that did drugs, and apparently there were signs, right? There were signs. So felt stupid, felt betrayed, felt like I was cheated on, and again, here I was like, okay, why do I end up with these stupid guys? And like I said, my ex-husband's a different story, but he also betrayed me, and it took, when he sat in jail, he went in jail right before New Year's Day, like December 29th was when he ended up in jail. And he was in there for a good 3 months. I could have taken him out. I was like, no, stay. You're bashing I did to him. Like, I mean, you're the stupid one. You're the idiot. I mean, have you not learned your freaking... I mean, and he did have a past. I knew that. Okay, I did know about that past, and I thought maybe he had changed. Maybe he had, he learned from that. Apparently not. And, I mean, I go, yeah, okay, I'm the stupid one because I married you. I'm the stupid one because I should have known that's what you were going to end up doing anyway. But it took... It took him sitting there, okay, as I'm in my apartment, with our son, who is 8. Well, he's 8 now, but at the time I think he was like 5 or 6. My sister, she goes to the crossing off of Windmill. Yes, she goes over there, and she knew. I mean, because I'm like, not again. Why this again? And so she goes, why don't you just go to church? Okay, fine. So I went to church. I went by myself, actually, with my kid. And the reason being is because, with all of this happening, I had just transferred out of my original department to a new department when all of this, went into play and everything. And I was usually Saturday, Sundays off. Now I'm Friday, Saturday off, and I couldn't. Everybody went to church. My whole family goes to church at 10:30 in the morning. So I'm the one that ends up going at 6 because I'm at work on Sunday. So I'm like, fine, I'll go by myself with my kid. And it took a song. They were playing a song. It had. What was it called? It was something about the 99. So
yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I know.
They played that song last Sunday at church.
Yeah, that's amazing song.
Leaving the 99
and
to get
chasing
the one,
to get the one and getting the one. And so it took that song, and I from that point on, I was just crying in church. I was just crying in church. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, and then on top of that, okay, the song's over. I'm done crying. The sermon. Oh my gosh, the sermon was. It's like, did you decide to just talk to me through the pastor here?
Yes.
It was the whole series was on happiness. It's January, so New Year, new you and all of that. And it was about happiness. And they were talking about married people. Married people are happier people. Because they've got somebody with you and everything, and they started talking about marriage, and they had the pastors like, okay, who's been married 1 year, who's been married 2, who's been married 3, okay, the ones that are married 50, raise your hand. And he goes, you guys that are, have only been married a year, talk to the ones that have been married 50 years. That way you understand, marriage isn't easy. You're going to go through your ups and downs and everything. Yes. But that's what makes you grow. That's what makes you a stronger couple. And I'm like, here I go. I'm here crying again. I'm like, okay, why are you talking about marriage when I'm here trying to, I want to beat my husband up. I want to divorce him. I'm just like, whatever. And it was that sermon that got me hooked. And then right before it ended, they started pitching some classes for the church and everything. And so it's not rooted. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Anyways, I went to it. It was a 9-week thing, and I go, you know what? Might as well. I might as well just go to this, and we'll go from there.
Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
now,
that's amazing.
how did you feel once you enter into church and that into the Christ, and then you we said about the sermon, that how did that make you feel?
That made me, other than the crying my eyes out, because I was like, why are you talking to me? Why, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I'm looking to see if there was anybody else crying.
I know that feeling.
Yes.
Here I am. I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I crying and everything? It felt good. I guess for lack of a better term,
praise God.
Here we are. Here's God talking to me now.
So that's when you encountered the light.
Yes.
Yes.
Now he's talking to me. This time I've been like looking and searching, and looking at it as a textbook school type of thing, and not that way. I guess, yes. Amazing. I never had a relationship.
And so my question now, has your husband encountered Christ as well?
Okay, yes. Okay, so, oh my gosh. So he finally got out of jail after I made him sit there for 3 months. Yeah, so I'm a tough cookie.
But it's good, though.
That's good. That is wonderful. That is good.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you sit there, you figure it out, and just sit there. And
then he had that encounter too.
Yes, I took him. Okay, once he got out on a Thursday. He got out of jail Thursday. I took a whole week off from work because first off, I'm still afraid. I'm like, okay, if I go to work, is he going to do drugs? So I literally, for a week, I stayed home with him, just making sure everything was fine and everything, and I dragged him with me to church that Sunday. And from there, he's like, oh, this is different. This church is different. He's also of the Catholic faith, that he was born and raised Catholic. Catholics really formal, and then here you go, here's the crossing.
It's something, it's almost like you're thrown in the middle of outer space.
Yes,
basically.
and the thing is come as you are, right? Yes. And so it was that, and I will say this, Easter Sunday was when he stood up and he said he was going to get baptized.
Wow, that's
so
thank you so much,
Jessica. Yeah, thank you.
And
yes.
This is truly a great
it was
testimony.
a blessing to hear your testimony.
Thank you for letting us into your journey. She took us through a journey in her broken life, and how Jesus Christ was able to pick up all those pieces and made her whole again. Not only her, but her marriage as well.
And what we learned for this testimony,
thank you.
that we can go through so many things. Like God can pull anybody into out of the darkness into the light. You know, He could take that person away from the addictions and that. And it takes prayer and everything, and it takes a tough soul.
Yes.
To stick through it.
Yes.
Because most people wouldn't stick through it, I'm not judging anybody, but it's, reality. Most people won't.
So they're telling us to wrap it up.